Daivarata was revered as a Vedic rishi and master by people like Madan Mohan Malviya, Vinoba Bhave, Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, and India's first president, Dr. Rajendra Prasad. In fact, Vinoba Bhave directed all those who approached him with doubts on the Vedas to go to Daivarata. Daivarata came and stayed with Bhagwan at Skandashram. Bhagwan was very fond of him. Being a very austere saint, he would stay with Bhagwan but go to the town to beg for food every day. He would bring whatever food he got to Skandashramam and place it before Bhagwan, saying, Indraya Swaha, meaning, I am offering this to the Lord of Lords. Only after Bhagwan took something from it would he eat the balance. In 1917, he was seated in front of Bhagwan in Skandashram along with Kavyakantha Dhanapati Muni and 6 other great scholars. They plied Bhagwan with beautiful spiritual questions. All these questions and answers have been recorded and brought out as Sri Ramana Gita. Daivarata asked Bhagwan a crucial question demanding a definite answer. He asked, Bhagwan, what is the paramount duty of a seeker? Bhagwan replied, discovering one's own true nature is the paramount duty. From his childhood, Daivarata was interested in singing bhajans. He used to dance while singing them. In those days, Bhagwan used to go around the hill along with the devotees. Whenever he saw Daivarata, Bhagwan would look intently at him, and Daivarata would start singing and dancing from one side of the road to the other. Devotees too would start singing and dancing. Daivarata was so captivated by Bhagwan's beauty that he writes, his eyes always glitter with spotless light, full of peace and pure love. Like God's, his eyelids too do not close. Even though his eyes are so wide open, they remain steady and introverted. To sit and gaze at his countenance is by itself true worship. People become so engrossed in his darshan that they do not like to leave his divine presence. Daivarata is the only person who has described Bhagwan's voice. No one else has spoken on how Bhagwan's voice sounded. He says, Maharshi's voice is melodious and soft as that of a child. It is exceedingly sweet. At times, it is so soft that it is not even heard clearly. It must be listened to with attention. When we hear his voice, we feel as if we are hearing a divine and subtle voice coming across the firmament. His is the form of divine speech so vastly extolled in the Vedas. Daivarata's original name was Ganesha Shastri Ko Somaini. He was called Ganesha and sometimes Gajanand. How he came to be known as Daivarata is an interesting story by itself. In Hindu culture, we live our life as initiated by the sages. It so happened that he once met a saint from Ujjain who initiated him to Bhakti Marga, the path of devotion. After a few days, another saint came along and trained him in Hatha Yoga practices. He spread bhakti and yoga all his life. Next, Gajanand met Kavyakantha Ganapati Muni. Kavyakantha, being a great Sanskrit scholar, naturally attracted Gajanand. He asked him, "What is your name?" When he heard that it was Ganesha Shastri Ko Somaini, popularly known as Gajanand, Kavyakantha said, "From today, your name is Daivarata." Kavyakantha was adept at changing names. He had already changed Venkataraman into Bhagwan Sri Ramana Maharshi. It was Kavyakantha Ganapati Muni who brought Daivarata to Skandashram. At the very first sight of Bhagwan, Daivarata was swept away by Bhagwan's spontaneous abidance in the self, a state extolled in all the 4 Vedas. Bhagwan permitted Daivarata to stay with Kavyakantha up on the hill, and wherever Kavyakantha went, Daivarata followed him. Once Daivarata was staying with Kavyakantha at the Padavaidu Renukamba temple. He was doing severe penance in the vicinity of the deity. One day, some verses started emerging from his lips. After observing this for 2 days, Kavyakantha realized that it was a Rigvedic metrical expression. Daivarata was revealing some of the lost mantras of the Rigveda. As Daivarata was in ecstasy, some words were not audible, but most of them were taken down by Kavyakantha. These verses, along with a commentary on them written by Kavyakantha, was later published under the title Chandu Darshana. Kavyakantha passed away in 1936. Having lost his mentor, Daivarata left for Nepal. He felt that Nepal was the place where he could satiate his thirst for Vedic knowledge. Moreover, he felt comfortable in Nepal as its king supported him in his quest for Vedic knowledge. But wherever he went, he was in constant touch with Bhagwan through letters. Bhagwan would wait for his letters and would respond to them by writing, by thought, or simply by communicating his grace. In every letter that Daivarata wrote from Nepal, the last line would be, "Always at the holy feet of Sri Bhagwan." I had the great good fortune of receiving this holy man in Sri Ramanashramam in 1960. One sight was enough for me to see that here was a Vedic rishi. Although at that time he was also called a Maharshi, he did not use that title at Ramanashramam. Yet I could feel that he was a Maharshi. I had the good fortune of serving him, though his wants were very few. Being a staunch Hindu, he revered cows and used to drink cow's urine. With just a cup full of cow's urine and some margosa leaves, he could live happily for days. So much so that Bhagwan himself has talked about Daivarata's austerity. Having renounced the world by then and being very young, I wanted to know more about Bhagwan. This great man was so childlike, it was easy for me to approach him and ask anything. "Swami, you have to tell me all about Bhagwan as a man and also Bhagwan as God." He smiled at me, perhaps he was laughing at my ignorance, and uttered just one sentence. Bhagwan was God living in the garb of a man. He had described Bhagwan as man and God in one sentence. He went on to say that Bhagwan had tremendous powers but was hiding them. Immediately I asked, "What do you mean by that? Can you give an example?" Daivarata said, "Yes, I can tell you, but can you understand that?" I replied, "Tell me, and I will try." He said, "Bhagwan has the power to go back to the past and alter the past." I replied, "Not only can I not understand, I do not even know what you are talking about." He was kind enough to share with me what he had experienced. Once, in 1940, he was wandering around the snowy peaks of the Himalayas, immersed in meditation. Suddenly, he noticed tears dropping from his eyes and wanted to know the reason for it. Then some force or power from his heart revealed to him that it was his separation from Bhagwan that was causing this anguish. Immediately, without any preparation, he straightened out to Arunachal. The journey took him 15 days. As soon as he came, he went and stood in front of Bhagwan with tears of joy. On seeing him, Bhagwan said, "Just a few moments back I thought of you and had a strong urge to see you, and now you are here." Daivarata called me his namesake, as he was also Ganesha. He said, "Hey, my namesake, have you understood?" I replied, "No, I have not understood." Daivarata explained, "Bhagwan had said just a few moments back, but it traveled 15 days back and gave me a push to start my journey towards him. He even made me shed tears and realize that he was calling me. Bhagwan then went walking on the hill and I followed him. Bhagwan told me, 'Abide in the heart. Remember, the heart is Arunachal.' Bhagwan had called me to him all the way from the Himalayas to give me this last message. Ever since then, Bhagwan constantly lives in my heart as Arunachal."